My favorite thing about the virtual lessons has been that it has forced me to practice harder and actually learn to practice the dancing instead of just going to the lessons, doing the dance lesson, and then coming home and not doing anymore.
I don't want to speak for Tim, but I'm enjoying it more than I knew that I would. You know, like I've always wanted to do it, but it's pretty fun.
No, it is dedicated time together. That's attention time, right? Which I think you said earlier. It's different than even just being together. It's attention.
I think it's a phenomenal way of doing it. I know it's very different compared to what you're used to, but, you know, it's a whole new world, and, you know, we got to live with it and learn different things, and now we actually can control our body a lot better. So, yeah, it's really nice.
Two things. One, it's super convenient, and we can do it even if we're not at home, and we've traveled and we're able to take our lessons and not miss anything. And two, it allows us to get back to dancing, and we haven't been dancing in such a long time that it was just super. And I guess the third thing I'd add is that I find when you critique us when we're dancing and you can't step in and show us, I think we listen better and I think we learn more.
Yeah, I can't really add much more. I think certainly the convenience factor, we can take you with us wherever we go. I echo Karen's last point for whatever reason, and I think it's because you're forced to pay more attention on both the teacher and the student side. It feels like we're able to pick up the critique a lot faster.
When you guys are here in the studio, you know, I don't know why or how it works, but sometimes I see something and I'll let it slide because who knows why, right?
Yeah.
But these things, when we do them this way, I can see so much more, which sounds really weird.
I think, like you said, being able to maybe see some things you don't even see in the studio, it's a different perspective on, you know, having to watch a little closer, I think, because it's online.
I've just found it really interesting and helpful. I don't know, it's not like you haven't gone into detail on things in the studio, but it comes across differently through here. Plus, I appreciate having this as a way to stay home during the coronavirus.
That it was as helpful as it was. Yeah. I really thought that we would struggle with the feedback and the correction, but Jeremy, you've done a really good job of articulating what we need to look at, demonstrating, using your virtual assistant there. It's really been a lot more helpful and more instructional, and I think we've moved forward a lot more than I thought we were. Really,
yeah, it's been way easier than I thought it was going to be. And really, from our perspective, I think we both actually kind of prefer the virtual lessons.
At this point
anyway.
Because it's so convenient, and also because we don't miss.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought that this was just going to be really weird, and I thought I would try it, but I wasn't counting on really liking it, and discovered that I really do like it a lot, because I've had a great time working on my technique without relying on having an instructor there to sort of allow me to cheat a little, or to sponge or balance myself off of them. I actually have practiced more on my own at home than I ever had when I was coming into the studio.
My first one that I did with Jeremy, he was like, no, your body needs to go this way. So it was like a correction that I honestly didn't think was even valid, like could happen over a video, and it did. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that makes so much more sense. So I really enjoyed that. And then like finding your own balance is a whole different story when you don't have somebody to rely on.
Yeah, the most surprising thing about the virtual lesson for me has been the loss of inhibition. So I'm less inhibited because I'm in my house. So I feel freer to be more creative and innovative and do more things that I probably wouldn't do if I were in a studio with a bunch of other people.
I actually think that we are more in tune with each other's movements. I'm actually surprised how quickly we are picking some things up.
Yeah, I think I'm surprised that we're getting into real dance steps fairly quickly, that things you could use.
I think it's just how much that you're able to see and help us with, even with the remote location and sometimes not the best lighting or camera angles, but you pick up a lot. And once we figured out a space that we could dance in, it's worked very well.
Just how much it feels like a regular lesson in the studio. Of course, John and I are a couple, so we've got a partner to dance with, whereas a single person, they'd have different things to say and you have different ways of teaching. But as far as teaching goes, I've been surprised at how much it feels like the regular thing.
So just so you know what to plan today or what to expect today, we're going to do the cube of motion and understand it in all the directions that we're working on, forward, back, side to side. We're going to hopefully apply it to the box. And, we might get to other patterns, but for sure, we're going to definitely get to it in a box.
We are relearning the routines that we were working on when we left. So we've been working on rumba, cha-cha, Argentine tango, and then we're just going to go through our whole syllabus to get back to where I kind of thought we were before we had to break.
I've been able to work on a little bit of Cuban motion, and also because of the lack or less inhibition than normal, I tried out the bachata, and I was always kind of scared of it. I tried that out; it worked, and I felt silly doing it, but I did it anyway, and it worked out fine. And then I also worked on being more relaxed and more creative to do things that I normally wouldn't do. And so I've worked on mainly just relaxing and trying to be calm and, not hanging on to a specific structure or form.
Rise and fall in the smooth dances and the timing of steps, sort of the similar thing to rise and fall in the rhythm dances in terms of how you shift your weight from foot to foot.
The concept of pushing off with the trailing foot, as opposed to the way we've all been doing it. How much more power you get, how much more stability.
I've worked on a lot of Cuban motion, like Ernie mentioned too, and then also figuring out how to dance in a smaller space. Waltz, foxtrot, tango, that is extremely hard in a small space. So it's really challenging me, and I really, really like it, so.
It is really convenient to do from home. This is much easier. We can actually even make a drink if we want to and treat it like a little mini date or cocktail hour. And you can kind of celebrate it a little bit.
I think it's very effective, but still much easier to fit into your schedule.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to do more lessons because it's more convenient.
Yeah.
And I don't think you have to replace the in-person, because I think that there's a lot of benefit to that. But having interim lessons that are virtual probably allows you to increase the number of lessons you would want to do.
I would say.
I think no matter what level you're at, that you can learn new steps, even though you may not be dancing with someone else. You can watch steps demonstrated. We've seen that in the group lessons as well. But you can learn some new stuff, different steps, some different dances. If you want to learn a new dance, it'd be just as effective, I think, as being in the studio.
I think the virtual lessons would be good for learning independent dancing. I mean, again, I have a partner, but even since we've been taking virtual lessons, there have been times when you or Jeremy have talked to us individually about what position our bodies should be in. And I would think for single people, I mean, they wouldn't be relying on their partner to push and pull them if they're a follower or whatever. Learning to dance more independently.
I think if you have a space that you feel comfortable enough that you can move in, if you have a flat floor, then you can make this work. Pick a couple of specific things that you want to work on and give it a try.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think just give it a try. I was skeptical going in, but like we said, it's worked out really well. So, give it a whirl and see if it works for you. And then I would also encourage people to do the group lessons or the group party as an opportunity to sort of practice what you learn.
Love is all